Welcome to Staring at the Lights with Rob, Tom and Ethan. Tom is currently driving down from Carlisle, so he's en route.
I'm doing a podcast in the car.
In the car.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Today's world.
This week we've had, we'll start with what happened today, really. So New Japan, the debut of John Moxley at the Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah.
Going up against Juice Robinson for the IWGP US title. This is the first time we've seen him sort of properly in the ring since he's left WWE. Yeah. And what a match. Like, really unbelievably good match. Like, he came out in the trunks and stuff, and the entrance was really cool. It did. And then they just went at it from the off. Like, crazy, like really stiff hits and stuff. It
reminded me of like the old like Stan Hansen Vader matches. Obviously they were a lot smaller, but just the way they were like smacking each other and just the way they hit the ropes, it was proper physical. It was absolutely incredible. It was so good.
It was like classic strong style, like New Japan kind of wrestling.
Yeah.
I was amazing.
I was saying to Rob before we started, I think it was good for Juice, I think, more than Moxley. Like, I think Moxley obviously had to prove his worth, but I think with the amount of eyes that was gonna, like Moxley being there was gonna bring, I think it was like Juice had to prove his worth or like show what he's made of almost. And I think he delivered. I think he
definitely. He definitely did as well. Like Juice gave as good as he got, and I think the big thing about Juice is like a lot of people who maybe aren't interested anymore, maybe know like the likes of Macho Man and stuff. They'll look at him and think, oh, wait, I recognise a lot of the stuff this guy's doing. And, he was fantastic. He was absolutely brilliant. And I don't think it's any, like, shade on him that he didn't win the match. Like, I think, if anything, it makes more sense for him. You know, he's had four successful defences, and it was just the right time for him to drop the belt. It was really well booked out.
It was, I really enjoyed it. I say it was brutal. Like, the way that he kind of... like shoot style opened him up, like when he was outside the ring, he was like punching him in the forehead, just punching him in the forehead, and like and Juice didn't even like relent and like let up. He just kept letting him do it. It was awful.
Yeah, I love the like classic wrestling old Moxley was using as well, like the cloverleaf and like a lot of like neck cranks and stuff. And it was just, he's wrestling that real bully style. And it just looks great on him. It's exactly how he should be working. Like, just perfect for his character. Absolutely perfect.
I saw somebody say when he hit him with like the dirty deeds and he kicked out, it was almost like
first one.
Like the first one. Like it was like Moxley saying goodbye to like that dirty deeds, like saying goodbye to like WWE almost. Like that move's gone. So obviously like he's kind of smiled and hit like the. It was like all I can describe it is like an impaler, like it's like the Executioner, like you know when Edge used to do that like Impact DDT, it was like that, but like an underhook. And it was like if that's his new finisher, I like.
Are they calling it the Death Rider? So they actually call it because they did shout Death Rider.
That's kind of his sort of nickname in New Japan. So they've just released like a T-shirt with Death Rider on the front and then Mox on the back at the top. It looks pretty cool actually.
I wonder if Moxley will be at the 31st show, August 31st, the Royal Quest.
Oh, that would be good.
Wow, yeah, maybe, because that will... don't know, because All Out's the same night, isn't it?
He'll be at All Out facing Omega, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's true. That's a bit of a...
I mean, who knows? It's John Moxley. He could be anywhere. You never know.
I was kind of thinking as the match was happening... I don't know. I wonder because I don't know if he must have signed a contract with New Japan to win their title. Surely he can't just be like an independent guy winning their title.
I think Tony Khan, like he was, there was something I read. I don't know whether it was someone talking about it, or whether Tony Khan saying it. But when the offer was given to him on the table, it was very much like, look, if you want to work elsewhere, you're more than welcome to. Because on Jericho's podcast, he mentioned signing a contract with a corporation.
Yeah, like I've just got out of a corporation and I'm signing with another one.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing I'm wondering is like it makes me wonder because obviously. I mean, a lot of guys that wrestle in New Japan also wrestle independents as well. But we've seen it happen a lot with like Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay like are getting pulled from a lot of cards because New Japan want them to wrestle for them instead. Like there's a fair few times where Zack Sabre Jr. was booked for like Progress shows and Ospreay was booked for Progress shows, but then like a week before, like a few days before, New Japan are like, nah, we need you to wrestle for us instead. So they're just like, they have no choice but to say no to like Progress or whoever it is. So I wonder if it's them kind of strong-arming Moxley into working for them instead. I wonder if they'll kind of pull because they haven't got a working relationship with each other in New Japan, and that's why Omega's obviously gone to All Elite. Is that he's not allowed to or he's not now. Obviously, he's not technically a New Japan contracted wrestler anymore, so he can wrestle anywhere he wants. So I'm kind of worried a little bit that like they're going to build these big cards around Moxley and like Omega and stuff, and then New Japan could just be like, you've got our title, you're going to have to come and wrestle for us instead on that night.
Yeah, he said something interesting actually, Okada, the other day when he was talking about a match against Moxley, and he was like, I can't lose to someone from that place.
Do you mean Omega?
In quotation marks? So Omega, yeah, sorry. About Moxley, like, I can't lose to someone from that place. I'm like, well, you've just lost to Jericho, and he was from that place. Obviously, there's a bit more of a gap, though, isn't there? Yeah. I guess there's maybe like 16 months gap between that.
I don't know. It just makes me think a bit like, obviously, because we've seen it happen with Pac recently, where he's not allowed to lose because he's the Dragon Gate champion. And like Dragon Gate are like, we're not having our main title, like our main champion lose in different promotions. Or would New Japan do the same thing, where they're like, no, that's our champion. Like, he's not going to lose a match that's not in our company. I don't know.
You've got to factor, like, is it a matter of, like you were saying, is it a matter of New Japan trying to strong arm him, or is it more of a thing of like maybe New Japan are more in bed with AEW than we initially thought?
Yeah, true.
Like maybe there is that kind of thing where they're just like, look, we're not going to work together on, like, you know, out in front, but we are going to have this relationship whereby we know who the real enemy is, and we know that we need to work together to kind of get it over. And I mean, the US title was primarily designed to get New Japan more over in the States. Yeah. So, I mean, putting it on someone who's like one of the top 5 name wrestlers in the whole of the world, let alone the States, is a good shout, because it is just a big marketing tool.
Yeah, like,
rather than, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I mean, well, Moxley's
it's a good shout for him.
Yeah, Moxley's like the biggest name in wrestling at the minute, and he's the hot property that everybody wants a part of. So yeah, why 100%. Not?
Yeah,
100%. Exactly. It's a good move. It's a really good move on their part. I mean, I didn't think he was going to win it, but I'm really glad he did.
I had no idea until Rob spoiled it. I spoiled it. Into the match, so
Ethan managed to get it spoiled for him from his own podcast Twitter account.
No, I was on my own account. Obviously, I follow the podcast account.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I mean. Like your own podcast account.
Yeah. Mate, unfollow that podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to.
It's
I'm
a
block it.
Just mute us.
I'm going to block
Just
it
mute us.
Because I refreshed it. I refreshed my feed within 10 minutes of Rob saying, "Have you seen what's happened?" And I said, "No, don't spoil it, please." I think I opened Twitter, refreshed my feed, and then he immediately posted a tweet with Moxley holding the title, and I was like, "Oh, right, sound nice for that."
Mate, you've got to be out there quick with the news, man. It's
well,
one of them things, isn't it?
I see how it is.
In the news now, we're in the news business. We can't be missing things.
When you're a journalist, got to be there first.
When you're a journalist, here we go. When you're a journalist, brilliant.
Also,
overall, excellent. Go on, mate.
No, go on.
I was going to say one thing I wanted to throw in there. I'm really glad Moxley's like wearing the tights and shooter boots, because like when he came out at AEW, I was kind of like, I'm not really digging those Navy Air Force flight pants thing he's wearing.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking the whole shooter boots and tights look. I think it looks brilliant on him.
Maybe it's a kind of like a transitional sort of thing.
I think he's definitely leaving it all behind from like what he was, and I mean, I thought he'd have a new finisher. In all honesty, I didn't think he'd use the DDT anymore, but. One thing that I worry about with that DDT, like I love that Impaler looked brutal and it looked wicked, but the whole like wicked thing around the Dirty Deeds was it can just hit it out of nowhere like instantly. It can like it's like one of them finishes that can just come out of nowhere.
I love a DDT as a finish.
That's a wicked finish.
Jake the Snake's DDT was one of the best ones of
all time. But I feel like when he'd hit, like I remember like him hitting it on Triple H that one time when Triple H was a champion. And he just like out of nowhere hit it, and then like Triple H sold it like he was dead, and I was like, "That's wicked," because it just comes out like 3 seconds, it's done.
Yeah.
This one, he's got to like get him into it, and then lift him up, and then like slam him down. It's like, nah, I don't know if that's gonna work the same.
I like that. I like that release suplex he did.
The Xplex.
Yeah. Where he
the Xplex is
so good.
Yeah.
Pete
Dunne does a good Xplex. I like Pete Dunne's Xplex as well.
Yeah, it's very similar to the bitter end in a way, but like amazing.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
So good.
On the I watched it on the English commentary, so Kevin Kelly commentating on the match, and he made a really good sort of phrase that maybe was a bit of a throwaway, but he's like, Moxley's uncaged, and I'm like, he is, isn't it? This is exactly what he wants, and all that stuff that he talked about in the Jericho podcast, where he felt like he was hamstrung almost, and he couldn't do what he wanted to do, and this is it now. This is his chance to he's built that reputation, or he's built that platform for himself over the last 8 years of being WWE that he couldn't have done when he was John Moxley earlier in his career, to now just being, right, I've made a name, everyone knows who I am, I'm literally one of the hottest things in wrestling now. This is it, I can do what I want.
Yeah, I wonder where he's going to go with it, because I like the style of, like, I liked the way he wrestled, like I liked his style. he sounds bad because you should never hope that somebody gets hit with an unprotected chair shot. But I just wanted him to just get caned by something, or just like make it a bit more brutal almost. Because I've not heard him say anything about if he's going to go back to deathmatch wrestling or not. I wonder, like, because obviously he's older now and he's got a wife and he's probably got priorities but it sounds awful because I would never want somebody to put themselves through obviously like serious pain unwillingly, but when I watch, I do like deathmatch wrestling in a kind of sadistic way, and when I watch like old Tournaments of Death with Moxley in it and stuff like that, and the stuff that he used to do, I just want to see him do it again. And I
agree. I mean, my take on that is like when he said on Jericho's podcast, he was going to give it another year because he's not quite 100% from like a rehab perspective.
Yeah.
And I think like he's probably he knows now's the time he needs to like strike while the iron's hot, do as much as he can, get that name out there. Then once he's settled in and everyone's like, oh yeah, he is on top of the indies, so to speak, like everything outside of WWE, he's the top of the card. Then he can maybe start going, I'll take a few more risks, I'll do a few more daft stuff. Because I mean, he's got that in him. He's mental still.
I know he is. You can tell he's still a bit
I'm almost certain he'll go back there.
Yeah, I don't know. I like. Again, don't get me wrong, the match was brutal, and like they did some crazy spots and some pretty brutal stuff with the tables and things like that. But
I like that little bit with Juice where he's going through this fucking table.
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah, it's wicked. I don't know. I just feel like, because obviously the one thing that I'm worried about is they've immediately booked this Joey Janela Moxley match, and Joey Janela is obviously, he's not always deathmatch, but Joey Janela does wrestle a lot of deathmatch stuff, and it's like, we all know that Moxley was a deathmatch wrestler. That's where he came up through. He was CZW. He was that kind of wrestling. You put him in against Joey Janela. If they just have like a bog standard match with a few chair shots and like a few chair shots to the back and maybe going through a table, I'm just worried that people are going to be like, "Nah, that wasn't what I wanted or expected from it."
It could be a matter of like Janela's just gone, look, I get where you're at. I get the impact you need to make. Fuck me up, fam. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe he's just going to go, you fuck me up for like a full, like, half an hour.
He could, but I don't know if Moxley would want to take receipts. So I don't feel like Moxley's the kind of guy that would willingly do that to somebody and not take his lumps back.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, you wouldn't book that match because it's going to promise too much hype if you don't go all out, like you said. So I think we maybe will see that deathmatch side of John Moxley out a little bit sooner.
I want glass panes. I want barbed wire. I want light tubes. I want unprotected chair shots to the face.
Rattlesnakes and scorpions.
I want that drill saw. I want that like saw spot that they did.
Oh, yes.
Again, was it like brain damage against Moxley at Tournament of Death when he like cut his head open with a saw? Like, I want that. Like, obviously that wasn't real, but I just don't want him to do it. Like, I love that spot. Have you heard him talking about that spot? Like, have you seen the spot?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I'll try and find it. So like, it's a Tournament of Death. It's brain damage. I think it's brain damage against Moxley, and he's like, do you know, like drill saws?
Yeah.
Like electric saws. He like gets one of them and puts it on his forehead. And like cuts his forehead open, and all the crowd go mental, and he's like running around and jumping off the ropes and like going mental.
It looks like a turkey carving knife.
Oh, right, okay.
I swear to God, it's the most well
like electric knife kind of thing.
So like,
honestly,
he was doing it like years and years ago before WWE was doing a shoot interview, like a shoot interview, like an hour long, whatever it is.
Right.
And I think he gets onto like his deathmatch stuff, and they're talking about it, and then he gets to it, and he's like, dude, that was so fake. And he's like, anybody who thinks that was real is an idiot. He's like, people are saying to me, why would you do that? You're an idiot. You're going to kill yourself. And he's like, if you think that's real, you're the idiot. I'm not the idiot.
Yeah.
He's like, apparently before the match started, brain damage came to him or like had the saw in his hand.
It does look good though.
It looks mint. He's like, had the saw in his hand, and he's like, I'm thinking about using this. And Moxley was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, no. And he's like, no, look. And he put it on his arm, and he's like on his tongue. It's like blunt as nothing. It just feels like a vibration. And because he was already bleeding before, like in the match, when he puts it on his head, it like moves the blood around. So it looks like it's just created a new cut on his face.
Right,
and everybody bought it. Everybody thought it legitimately just took a saw to the face. And he's like, you're an idiot.
It's unbelievable. Honestly, it's unbelievable.
It's good. But like I said, I just want that kind of stuff. I just want that mental stuff again. Like, I just want to see him go back to it. And even if it is just like a one-time only thing against Janela, like just one more match, one more blowout, like do some mental shit, and then just wrestle like a strong style wrestling like he did against Juice. Like,
I'm liking the strong style stuff he's doing. I think it's working really well.
It's good.
I thought it was wicked.
So
everything looks so much better in a New Japan ring as well, doesn't it? Like watching it, it's like watching
the sound of it as well.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's amazing.
Brilliant.
They don't kind of like EQ the ring almost like they do in WWE. You You know what I mean?
Like, it's not like a show thing. It's like a sport thing.
Yeah,
I love that. All about that.
The other sort of big match from the Battle of Super Juniors then would have been Ospreay. Ospreay winning Battle of the Super Juniors again. This is the 26th one I think they've had, and I think we were saying this is the second time he's won it. We might be wrong on that, so we might get some tweets about it.
I think it's the second time.
It's definitely. I'm almost 100% it's the second time.
Yeah.
But then again, I know nothing about New Japan, so don't go on my recommendation. He's probably never won. He's probably never even been in it before. It's fine. It's
really good match. Like the closing to the match was unbelievable. Like a really strong hidden blade. Then into a top rope Oscutter, and then he finished with a Stormbreaker. That hidden blade, I was just looking at some stuff about it, some like gifs of it, and it's just brutal.
It's just hitting somebody as hard as you can, isn't it? Let's be honest. Like,
yeah, well, it is. Yeah, it is. It's just
when does it become like an actual physical like attack or a wrestling move? Like, what's the line between them? Because if you just hit someone as hard as you can, is it still a wrestling move?
Is it just now a fight?
Is it just now a legitimate fight? It's like when like Kenny used to do like V triggers on Okada, and just like legitimately knee him in the face, and I'm like, you can't really call that a wrestling.
I remember one of those.
It
might have been the Wrestle Kingdom last one they had where Okada was like, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah,
I literally thought I was going to die in the ring because
some awful.
You think like how much of a risk is that stuff, especially if it's not your finish. It's like you could genuinely cane him and knock him clean out. Well, and then what are you going to do for the next half an hour?
Exactly. Yeah. All you got to do is like look at like Shibata. Like he went blind because like he just used to headbutt people all the time and get headbutted. And again, it's like
awful.
It's not wrestling at that point. You're just legitimately headbutting each other as hard as you can. And it looks amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, it looks mint and it builds a good atmosphere. But like, if you're gonna go blind from it, maybe
just get into real fighting. Just go and do mixed martial arts.
Just actually fight someone. Like if that's what you want to do, if that's what you're into, maybe just actually go into like legitimate fighting. Don't pretend. Don't like use a pretend sport to use real things. Surely, like that's not a good sentence, but I think I get what you get what I'm saying.
No, a great show though. Battle of Super Juniors is always pretty good. It's one for the sort of purist though, isn't it? I think that like the real hardcore New Japan fans and everything are really into it. It just seems like a really long event, and it's like 3 days, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I never watched the full thing.
You never watched the full one?
No.
I think I tried to last year, and it was just long.
I don't remember. I don't think I've ever watched a proper. I think I've like watched the finals, but I never actually watched the entire thing.
Yeah,
I never watched the G1.
It's like the tag league thing.
It's like the G1. Like the G1, I think it's like It's like fucking 365 days. Like you just don't ever stop. Yeah. It's like so many qualifiers.
And if you don't know half the people as well, because there is a lot of like, there's a lot of Japanese wrestlers where you're just like, I have no idea who half of these people are, and it's like it is a good way to discover new wrestlers, but like it just feels like every single time they put it on, there's just more and more names that I can't pronounce. It is tough to watch the whole thing.
I think like last year I tried to watch like, is it like called the G1 Climax? Is that like the qualifiers or whatever it is? Like,
I think.
I tried to watch it. I tried to go from start to finish and keep a track of like, because it's like point. Is it like a point system or it's like a tournament system? It's something weird, but I tried to watch it, and there's just like so many like young lions that they throw in, which is mint because they get to wrestle obviously on a big stage, and they get to wrestle probably like more tenured guys and veterans. But like when you're watching a young lion against a young lion and you have no idea who either of them are, and it's like your 18th match of the day because you've been watching G1 for 9 hours, you're just like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I just can't.
And it's like when you're a Westerner and you're not like permanently involved in it as well.
Like, and it's like you're not watching.
The only people who are going to win are the people you know. So it's just like, I know 3 people there. It's going to be one of them. So there's no point in me watching the rest of this.
It's a good point that, like, even if you are a Japanese wrestling fan and you go to all the shows, you know that Kenny, Okada, or like somebody like that's going to win. So like, why do you even bother going? Like, why would you even sit through it? You know who's going to do it.
I suppose that's the problem with wrestling tournaments because everybody knows the mid card. It's the problem with
wrestling in general, isn't it? Like, he just knows.
So it's like, what's the point? What is the point?
Why am I here?
Oh yeah, we're going to put Dolph Ziggler in here. It's like, well, why bring him in? Why even give him a job? Why give him a job? What's the point?
That's a good point. That there's never been like a tournament where it's just 8 guys and they all could legitimately do it because they're all the best of the best. Like it's never actually happened. Like, and New Japan could do it.
It's because they don't build diverse cards.
They don't.
Yeah, they could.
But like New Japan could like have, obviously not like Kenny anymore. But if you like go back a year, you could have like Kenny, Okada, Naito, like Tanahashi, like Suzuki. That's 5 already. I'm sure you could think of a few more that are all top tier.
This is why this is why they need a World Wrestling, like, I know it's IWGP, but they need a proper Grand Prix where they have the best of every different company. So like the top 3 in WWE, the top 3 in AEW, the top 3 in New Japan, and throw them in and have like a 3-day tournament where you're like, I genuinely don't know who's going to win this one.
Like they never do it. Like they never put why never put they never put Okada and Omega in the first round against each other. Like just do like a big upset, because at that point, if them two are wrestling each other in the first round, you've genuinely not a clue who's going to win it. Yeah. Like you're just gonna be sat there loving it because
like
you have no idea.
A legitimate draw, like FA Cup or something.
Yeah, they should do that. Yeah, they should
draw it out.
Yeah, they could just book with the dice. So just book with the dice. Don't have any thought.
I would. I've always thought that. I thought if ever in a company, I'd like get either FA Cup, like 2 balls full of different numbers, and be like, right, you're against him, because like, what's it called? Progress's tournament.
Super
Strong Style.
So like they do it, but I don't know if it's a gimmick. I don't know if it's a work or not, because last year they do the draw, like they record the draw like in a video, and last year they got, because is it Glenn something? One of the one of the owners, Glenn Joseph
Jacobs. No,
I think it's Glenn Joseph.
That's Kane.
Glenn, not Glenn Jacobs. It's not Kane. I don't think Kane.
I instantly knew what I said then. As soon as I said J and A, I was like, oh, fuck,
I don't think Kane owns Progress.
I've committed now. I've got to say it.
They got like, because that Glenn Joseph, I think he's a singer or a dancer.
Okay.
And he was on the Buddy Holly musical.
All right, okay.
I think he was like one of the main leads in the Buddy Holly musical, and he had one of the other guys that was in it with him sit down, and he read out all the like he gave him the list of the names, and like the not the catcher, that the nickname or whatever it were, and asked this guy, because he doesn't watch wrestling at all, asked this guy to draw the wrestlers, like what he thought they looked like off by just judging by the names.
Yeah.
So he draws them all, and then just chooses like 2 random people and puts them together, and that's how they made the matches for the entire thing. And it did have some like really interesting matchups, but I was like, has he just told him beforehand, like, right, put this and this and that and that and that and that? Like,
we just never know what's a work. We just never know.
Well, mate, and Triple H said, didn't he, if it's on TV, it's a work.
It's a work. Let's talk about Takeover then. So last Saturday was Takeover 25, the first one for a long time, if ever, where it was a sort of standalone one and it didn't have another
a disappointing
didn't have a disappointing main pay-per-view to go before. But I thought that made it a better show. They were more free to kind of do what they want a little bit, I think.
Free to do whatever they want.
Yeah, any old time.
Any old time.
I don't know, it just seemed like the shackles were off like more than normal.
I don't know. I've always watched them shows and just not thought about the next night because I just don't care about it.
Right.
There's no point, is there?
Like, because they are two separate things. The only time that's ever been like coincide with each other is when Seth Rollins like jumped the rail and ran in the ring to try and get to Triple H. That's the only one time that I've ever like.
I think that's got to be a factor in it though, because like from a booking standpoint, they'll probably usually under the thing of like, oh, don't use a count out or whatever, because we're using that in the main event tomorrow night, so you can't use that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like
maybe that is
this.
a thing.
Like, I'd imagine from their side, it definitely will have been a different vibe, them being the main WWE thing on that weekend.
Yeah, it was.
But it was. I mean, it was an awesome bell to bell, which it always is.
Yeah, I mean, the first match.
Coming off the back of AEW.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the first match was Riddle versus Roderick Strong. Great match.
I loved it.
Really, really good match. Really this one.
Oh, it was so good. So good. They're both absolute studs. I mean, I'd put in, when I put it up on Instagram, I was just like, this is the kind of wrestling you'd expect to be in the main event of like WrestleMania, the top wrestling show of the year. It's like 2 actual units who are 2 of the best at what they do, just having a full-on amazing wrestling match that like has all the like gritty, hard, strong style stuff, but then a lot of aerial stuff that doesn't break your suspension of disbelief. So it doesn't make you think like, oh, that flip was unnecessary. It's like, oh, they did a flip because he threw him so hard. Like it was just bang on the money, perfect opener for that show. It was amazing.
There was a little part of the night where they showed you Stephanie McMahon in the ring. Well, not in the ring, sorry, at the side watching it.
Oh yeah.
Apparently she was there like the whole. She wasn't just like in with Amia and
she
left.
Does watch it. She was at that one where it was her and Shane McMahon's kids.
Oh, okay,
that front row. There's a match where Samoa Joe was against somebody and he got cut open, and they like stopped the match temporarily to like try and close that cut up, and they were all chanting "fuck PG." and there's like a video of like Shane McMahon's kids like sat ringside going "fuck PG," and like Stephanie McMahon just like looks at him and just starts like chuckling to herself and laughing, and she's like, maybe she's into it.
What I thought was quite funny is there was a little like 2-3 people down. Britt Baker was sat there.
Yeah.
Caught on camera, and then the guy behind with the Macho Man shirt.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
What must she be thinking sat there though? Watching like real good wrestling, and then having to go out on a Monday night and watch that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what must she be? She must be thinking like, oh my god. You know when you go like, it's like a school dinner lady going for an actual good meal. Do you know what I mean? Like going to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and just going, look at this shit analogy that I'm serving.
That's such a good analogy.
Just a write off, innit? Just an absolute write off.
Oh, that's dumb, man. That's brilliant.
It's true though. Like you say, you must be sat there thinking, what's going on? Like, what is actually happening?
Yeah, do you think she's kind of thought, why is well, obviously he didn't, because fucking Raw and SmackDown was exactly the same. But
no idea.
So she's not sat there and
but
thought,
she also hasn't got any sway, has she? She's got no. I don't think she's got any leeway. I don't think anybody's got any like sway or fucking power behind.
Back in the day, she was like one of the lead creators.
Yeah, but that's because
SmackDown,
like Vince. Yeah, Vince didn't give a fuck about SmackDown, so he's like, just let Stephanie ride it. Just like, I don't give a shit. But like now that I just don't think, I don't even think Triple H. I don't even think if Triple H went to Vince and tried to be like, right, you're doing it wrong. This is how we need to do it.
Yeah,
Vince would be like, fuck you.
I do
it how I want to do it. Like I do.
This is good shit. Yeah,
this is good shit.
Like he just doesn't give a toss.
I hear you, pal.
I bet that's why she goes. I bet she goes just to be able to see some semi-decent wrestling like for a night, and then she's like, oh, I've got to go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
just don't want to be there.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed the match. I was the one thing that I was disappointed about, if anything. It's a pretty big thing, but like, again, I always say it like I'm a fucking booker and I know how anything works, which I don't. But I'd have had Undisputed Era just win every title that night.
Yeah, I put that on our Twitter, like, this needs to happen.
I'd have had Velveteen Dream lose first to Roderick Strong. Like, let Roddy Strong beat Velveteen. I'd have had, obviously, Fish and Riley. O'Reilly and Bobby Fish win the tag belts. And then at that point, it's the last match of the night, you're thinking, surely to God, they can't do all three. Like, Johnny Gargano's going to retain.
Yeah.
And the amount of fucking false finishes they did, you'd be like, yep, Johnny Gargano's obviously going to retain. And then he finally beats him.
Yeah.
And then have every single one of them just stood in the ring with all the belts. I'd have been like, that is just fucking perfect. But
well, the second match on the card, that ladder match, was unbelievable.
I liked it. I didn't like the finish. I didn't.
I'm glad that Street Profits won.
They're good, don't get me wrong,
I like
they're
that
good.
they've won.
They're just not better than Undisputed Era. They're just not. Like, they're good, but they're just not that good. What were the other two guys in it?
Yeah.
So it was Only Lockin and Danny Burch.
Like, it was like a thingy. Oh, no, sorry, not them guys. Not the English
I
guys.
only know that
Lost
Profits guy. What's he called?
Forgotten Sons. Where did I get that from?
Mate, you don't want that anywhere near a ring. This is a child sport. There's kids in the arena.
What did you call them?
Lost Profits.
Where's that God, from?
Don't want them. Forgotten Sons,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Mate, Lost Profits know plenty of Forgotten Sons.
They do. A lot of Forgotten Daughters as well. Jesus Christ.
I just
didn't like him. I didn't like that massive shithouse that came in either. I'd never seen them.
Do you know what the thing is with him?
He used to be Gunner in TNA.
I've no idea.
He was Gunner in TNA.
I've never seen any of the three of them.
He didn't look intimidated enough for them all to be worried about him.
No, he didn't. He just kind of like stumbled his way down to ring.
It wasn't like, if it was like someone like Braun size or even like Killian Dane size.
I mean, he is a big bastard. Like, don't get me wrong, he's big, but
it's not like.
I think it's that long hair with the bald spot. He looks like some Raju who just hangs out at a bar. Yeah. He's got them psycho eyes as well.
Well, that's their whole thing, innit? Their whole thing it's a bit of a biker gang, innit? So that's.
I must be. I don't know. I'd never seen any of them three, and I didn't. All I could think was, what's the 205 champion's name?
Tony Nese at the minute.
Oh, and the one before in the Australian game.
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy. They look like Buddy Murphy if he like went heel and dyed his hair a bit darker.
Well, he was. The other one is Buddy Murphy's old tag partner, isn't he? Wesley Blake.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah.
That's probably why I'm thinking what it is. Is Buddy Murphy the one that's railing Alexa Bliss?
Not anymore.
Used to be.
They were engaged, weren't they? But now
interesting. I might fly.
Apparently, Buddy Murphy's been having some unreal matches with Aleister Black on house shows.
Yeah.
Apparently, they've just been lighting
I rate Buddy Murphy.
They're keeping Aleister Black off of SmackDown as well, aren't they?
So.
No, I don't know. That must be why I thought he looked like that, because I'm trying to... What were they called when Alexa Bliss was managing them?
I don't know.
Bam Factor. They were called Blake and Murphy.
Blake and Murphy, weren't it? So that's probably why I'm thinking he looked like that, because he actually is him. I just didn't clock it, didn't put two and two together, but I didn't mind him. I just thought they were really bland and like, meh. And then, like I said, the Street Profits were really good. Like... they're good wrestlers. I like that thin, like the really tall, thin guy.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. He was wicked. Like, he did a lot of cool spots.
Angelo. Oh no. There's Angelo Dawson,
Montez Ford.
Montez Ford might be the one that I'm thinking of. But like I said, I liked him. I thought they were really good.
Montez Ford's great, and you married to Bianca Belair.
You can't have fucking Red Dragon. You can't have Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly in a match and not have them win. Like, for me, you just can't do it. Like,
when they came in and they got that Riker fella and just started like beating the shit out of him. I'm like, that's the shit I want to see from them two, because like they came in and they looked like they are actual martial artists, and they just proper laid the boots to him and started doing him in.
Yeah.
And from there, I don't know, I hate seeing those guys look. I just think they're so much better than everybody else. It just doesn't make any sense.
Like,
but
from a kayfabe point of view, they should have just won that match. Like, it shouldn't have really been a much big issue for them, because all them other tag teams are all right, but they don't hold a candle to what they've accomplished in like the wrestling world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hate this phrase. I hate it, because I'm with you. I want to see the Undisputed Era with all the belts, but it's a case of the tag division's proper shallow, and they don't need the belts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I suppose I get what you're saying. I don't know. I just think it's just a missed opportunity, because now that Adam Cole holds the NXT title, they can't win them all on the same night because Adam Cole's already the champion. So like, there'd been like a monumental moment where they won all 3 belts like on the same night. Now it can only be 2 of them, and like Adam Cole's already done it, so it's like, can't really be a big thing anymore. Unless Adam Cole loses it and drops it to somebody else, then gets it back, which I don't see happening. But
there was a rumour, and we'll probably get onto it after the last match actually, but there was a rumour that the next 2 call-ups from NXT are going to be Adam Cole and Shayna Baszler are the next 2 that Vince is quite high on bringing up. But
I can see Shayna, but I don't see why you bring up Adam Cole at this stage. Not now.
No,
I don't see Adam Cole losing that belt in a very long time. I really don't. I think he'll hold it for a long, long time.
Let's move on to
Vince just sits waiting for him to get really hot, and then he's like, I'm going to bring these guys in.
Probably.
And
Maybe.
Spaff all over him.
Yeah, probably.
Let's move on to the next match then. So, Velveteen Dream against Tyler Breeze. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good.
A lot.
Unreal match.
I was happy for Tyler. I think he's a really good wrestler, and he's never had the chance to really show what he can do.
He did. I saw a really nice sort of reply to someone who someone had tweeted him and said, "What did you think when they told you were going back to NXT?" And he just said, "I asked.
Yeah,
I asked to go back there."
Yeah. Which did the right thing. Like, don't get me wrong, the fashion police were mint. Like the fashion files, like they were hilarious, like so good. But when you become a comedy tag team, you don't get the chance to wrestle proper matches, because it's just not what you are at that point anymore. But like when I think back to Tyler Breeze's original NXT run, like he had that gimmicky, stupid character, but he still could hang in the ring, and he was still really good.
He was like I used to like. He was my 2 favourite acts ever to come out of NXT, other than Velveteen Dream, with the Revival and Tyler Breeze, because I always saw Tyler as this like Shawn Michaels character. Like, he's a model and he's a bit daft, but when he gets in the ring, he lights it up, and he has proper high caliber matches. But to see him back there, and even like the fact that he came out and he didn't even have the tassels on his boots, and you could just tell he's there to work and to prove how much of a workhorse he is.
Like that old time vet, didn't he? Like he'd come back to kind of keep the gate almost. It was nice to see him back, and not like the kind of classic daft tassels and over the top thing. Like he cut, obviously, I didn't even realise he cut his hair until I watched it.
Yeah, he did that in Mania.
Did it? I didn't even clock that he didn't have the long ponytail anymore, and it was like it looked like he'd refound himself almost.
It's such a good character arc as well, from a story perspective. Like, we've never told this story before. Let's just tell it with him. Let's have he's older, he's got lost in the shuffle. Bring him back down and just be like, you know what? Like, you're a journeyman, but there's nothing stopping you being like top tier again. Yeah. It's like Rocky, and he's like getting pummeled in that cathedral, and then it's just like, you've been all your life's a journeyman. You've never had a shot. Maybe you can have a shot, and that's where yours can come from. It's kind of like Eddie Guerrero in a way as well, I suppose. Like, you maybe don't really go that far, and then there could be something in this, but it just depends.
I'd love
if they want to put behind him.
I'd love to do a Rocky story. Like, even like get it down to the whole like letting him in the venue the night before, like film a promo package and like stood in the ring, like looking at the entrance, and like how Rocky did at the first fight against Apollo Creed. He's just like stood in the arena, and that guy, the promoter, comes out, like have Triple H come out and just speak to him, and like I
think what it does show is that. And we've said this anyway for a long time, that if you are SmackDown or Raw main roster and you move back to NXT, it's not a demotion.
No.
Not at all.
It's just a sidestep, innit, really, more than anything. Like, yeah, I wouldn't ever look at it as a demotion unless you were fucking awful and you had to go and like learn how to work again.
Yeah, if you're doing like the house show run and you're in the PC every other week and you're literally right, get back in that ring and Matt Bloom's going to put you through your paces a little bit.
But it ain't even that.
But it's not. It's like this is an opportunity for you to kind of go back and almost sound cliche, like find yourself
just
and reconnect with what you had that got you up there in the first place.
The biggest thing that like I took out of it is like it shines a pretty kind of bright light on. Yeah, Vince could never have got him over on the main roster. Like Vince can't do it. Whereas you bring him back down to NXT and you frame the story right and you put him in the right place and let him work the right style, he's a superstar. And it just looks awful on the part of Vince McMahon and the main roster team because you think like they'd look at a guy like Tyler Breeze and tell you he will never get over. But then you see him down there and the crowd are on their feet going absolutely mental and the people around the world like us talking about it going, this is the wrestling I want to see. And you think like given the right story and the right treatment, that can be anyone. And Tyler Breeze is a great example because a lot of people would write him off. And it just goes to show that like they really need to look at making that move sooner rather than later because if you can have that power on the main roster, you could basically turn anyone into money.
Yeah.
So it shines a big light on that.
It's always frustrating me that the kind of the two separate rosters. Like I don't dislike the call-ups. I get that it's a developmental brand and all that kind of stuff, but there's so many guys on the main roster that would love to wrestle a lot of the guys on the NXT roster because 9 times out of 10 they've already worked with each other like a lot of times out inside the indies and they know that they're good together. Like Kevin Owens is a prime example. Like the amount of times I've watched him wrestle Adam Cole in numerous different promotions before they both went to WWE, and every single time it's an absolute barn burner. And it's like, why should it be that because Kevin Owens is on Raw, he can't just nip down to NXT for like a couple of weeks and just do like a quick feud with Adam Cole, for example, and then just go back to Raw and just carry on where he was? Like, why can't they just jump between them? I just don't understand it. It's like Raw and SmackDown. They keep doing this like stupid wildcard thing, but they just keep showing up on both brands anyway. So it's like, what does it really matter? Yeah,
someone made a good point about that the other day. Might have been this morning actually on Twitter, saying yesterday, 11 people made use of the wildcard rule when it's supposed to be 4.
Yeah, it just don't make any sense. Like, but so why not do that? Like, you could have Kevin Owens come out to a ring and be like, last night I watched NXT Takeover. That puts Takeover over because like the casual fans might not know what that is, so they now know what Takeover is. They might go and watch that. There's a guy called Adam Cole, got a long rival history with him. I know that I'm better than him, but I need to prove it to myself in a WWE capacity. So I'm coming for you. And then next pay, never do like a build up. Just next takeover, just have him wrestle him. Just have him Adam Cole wrestle Kevin Owens, and then just even Kevin Owens loses because obviously he's meant to because Adam Cole's a tag champion. It makes no odds nor ends to Vince because to Vince NXT doesn't really exist because it's not his baby. So like, just having come back, how did that match, Kevin? Yeah, all right, sound. You wrestling fucking, I don't know, Braun again for the 8,000th time tonight. Yeah, no danger. Cheers, mate. See you later. And just carry on from where you left off. Like, why not let him do it? It just doesn't seem much sense to me.
The WWE like system it's not got long left. You look at you listen to Dean's interview on the Jericho podcast and the way he's saying about like you think about how he doesn't fit and all the people on Raw who are fitting are out at the top. They all look the same. Braun, Roman, Seth, and Elias all look the same. Yeah. When Braun's got his hair down, he looks exactly the same.
It's because Vince just has that.
That's the look he wants, isn't it?
Yeah, that image in his mind, doesn't he, of what it is, and that's what they fit.
It doesn't look like a steroid Jesus like that.
Yeah, that's all he wants, isn't it? That's all Vince wants. And to be fair, I mean, the thing is, I always feel stupid for shitting on WWE. I'd rather just not care about it because I feel like that's a bigger insult to just not talk about it or care about it. I'd rather not spend my time saying why I hate it. But
I think this is why we enjoyed the sort of the success that AEW had the other week because we kind of went into recording an episode.
It's an actual excuse for me to not talk about WWE.
Yeah, a relief of not having to
almost like relief
find something in it that we thought we wanted to talk about. That's like, not like you say shitting on it.
Yeah, it's just like I just don't see why I should spend my time getting angry about it. But like I was back to my point. Vince McMahon has built this business from the ground up. Like it's a $1 billion company.
True.
If he wants 8 men that look the same, who am I to say that he can't do it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, he's seen off every competitor going.
He's literally beat everybody. Yeah. There's nobody left for him to beat anymore because he's better than them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sat here going, it's the same shit every week, I hate it, it's fucking boring, rah, rah, rah. It can't be that bad, because he's literally beat everybody that there ever has been, and he's now at the top of the top. Like, if he wants 19 men that all look the exact same, got the same name, wrestle the same style, who am I to say that he shouldn't do it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just not care about it. I'd rather just ignore it. I think that's a bigger insult to not turn it on than it is to sit and go, I watched it, but I hated watching it. Like,
one question I have on the back of that Velveteen Dream match.
Yeah.
Do you think the fact that he's still there is due to Vince being a racist homophobe, or do you think it's the fact that Triple H has maybe said around the dinner table, you can have whatever else you want, but don't take him, and you've got to swear on your grandkids? Because I don't see Vince looking at that guy and going, I don't need him to make money right now, because he is in every single way perfect as a professional wrestler. Like, there's nothing you could do to his character that would get him more over or make him better. So I just don't know why he's being allowed to stay in that place, which is really good for him. Like, I can't fathom it. I cannot fathom it.
See any place for him. I don't think he sees
probably
any...
not got anything for him.
Honestly, I don't think Vince calls people up without a plan in mind for him.
No.
I know he's a bit of a prick and he just does stupid shit. It almost seems like out of spite sometimes, but I really don't think that if he's not got anything for him to do, which he probably won't ever have, because he doesn't need that character in his promotion. Like, he doesn't need that in his vision. He's just not what he likes in wrestling, I suppose, really. So, like, I don't think Vince would call him up for the sake of doing it. I don't think he'd be like, right, all this amazing stuff you're doing, you need to come and sit in fucking catering 8 days a week just to not.
I feel like he's done that with like Aleister Black, and I mean, I know Ricochet's been on Raw, but he's not really doing anything with him other than having matches with Cesaro. And
I think what happens is he has an idea in mind, and then he gets into it, and then he has another idea, and he completely forgets about the idea that he had like 5 seconds before.
You're right
or he doesn't give it. He doesn't give it a chance, like with
don't work. He's like, don't work this fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, look at the thing that Moxley was on about with EC3. Like, he wanted him to go over.
Yeah.
We wanted Moxley to go over EC3 to go over Moxley, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So now
Moxley
EC3
just sits backstage and does fuck all.
Doesn't do anything. I can't remember.
I think he's got some heat backstage.
I can't remember last time I heard him talk.
Prick. Apparently he's a bit of a knobhead though.
Well, but then that's his gimmick.
No, I think he's a real life knobhead as well.
Well, I'll him say it's life, doesn't it? Get him in there.
Yeah, but you can't be a knobhead to Vince.
Just get him in there.
Let's move on to the sort of second to last match then. So Shayna Baszler against Io Shirai. I don't know. It was a good match. I just felt it was a little more of the same with Shayna Baszler's matches.
I hate Shayna Baszler.
Really strong.
I don't like it.
Finishes him off with the submission.
I just think she's boring.
The only thing that I will take from that match is the end where she beats the shit out with that stick and then does that mint like Sabu style moonsault with the chair, which is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like ever. It was
when Sabu used to do that, I'd pop every single time he did it. Like, it's such a stupid move. It just hurts you more than it does them. But I just love seeing him.
I think what they've done with Baszler is they've just built her too strong.
Yeah,
and there's no one else.
Yeah, there's nobody else really that can do it, is it?
Look at it.
It's like the Brock mentality, isn't it?
Yeah, get her, drop the title next takeover and call her up.
Yeah, it's the Brock mentality of the build her up and build her up and build her up, and then realise it's the trouble with the women's. It's like, I think you were saying, Tom, about like the heavyweight classes and stuff like that. Like, they don't have any weight divisions, and it almost hinders them a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. They need to put something in there to make it like, because it's just, there's no realistic way that any like company would sanction a fight between someone who's that big and someone who's that small, because it's so imbalanced and unfair. So they need to think about something with women. Like,
it's the same thing with Nia Jax. Because what people always forget is that, like, she's not like most girls, so it never
not at all like most girls.
She's never going to get beat because, you know, she is what she is. But
let's move on to the main event then. So Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. Quite long. There's 32 minutes. This went quite a long match.
Yeah.
Big one, wasn't it?
It was really good. I think it was up there with their last match they had.
It was better than the last match. They definitely fucking worked on the cardio for the past however many months they've been waiting since this one came around.
I thought there'd be more. I thought they'd make, because I thought the rest of the newspaper would sort of interfere at some point, and they didn't really get in the ring.
The music thing was really clever. Like, the way Adam Cole baited him back into the ring was really good. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't use as a gimmick, kind of like running to beat him. It proved that Adam Cole could do it on his own, like he could do it without any help, which is what he needed, I think. Because
this is what you want to see. He's lost so many significant matches in his time in NXT, and you just think he deserves better than that.
Yeah.
He deserves way better than that. He needed to win this one clean.
I mean, I do like a shithouse heel. Like, I do like a chicken shit heel, but...
Oh, yeah.
Like, it can only go so far before you realise, are they actually that good, or are they just cheating their way to every single thing that they win? And it was nice to see him... I mean, obviously, Johnny Gargano, kayfabe speaking, is the best in NXT because he's the NXT champion.
Yeah.
So it was just nice to see him beat him clean without any need for any help. I fucking hated the amount of false finishes they did again. I thought it just got... It's like almost like PWG where they just do about 85 false finishes and it just diminishes the moves that they're doing so much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
It just winds me up to a point of like... I think, didn't he hit something ridiculous on Johnny Gargano? Like, hit the Panama Sunrise...
That should be his finish. That should always finish the match.
It's his normal finish, isn't it?
It should always finish the match.
Normally that finishes people straight away. If you hit a Canadian Striker top rope, which is a move we've not seen in WWE for God knows how many years, if you hit that move, I don't care who you are, that should be like his OMG finisher. Like, use the last shot, wherever it's called, like the knee to the back of the head. Use that normally, and yeah, some people might kick out of it. But if you need to win a match and you're getting desperate, hit the Panama Sunrise, and nobody's going to kick out of it because it's brutal.
Yeah.
I can't believe he did as much as he did, like a last shot after last shot after last shot, hit him with like super kicks, then hit the Panama Sunrise, and then Gargano still kicked out. And I'm just like, it's just not believable. He just winds me up a little bit. Like, you shouldn't. It just ruins them moves so much. And then when you watch Adam Cole fight the next person that he's going to wrestle, whoever that might be, are they going to also kick out the Panama Sunrise, or is that just something Johnny Gargano does because he's Johnny Gargano? Like, I just don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah. The thing with Gargano is he's always like, obviously they've said that he's never managed to defend the title. Like, he's always winning it but then losing it. I think that's good for his. I think that's key for his character. But like in terms of Adam Cole, like, yeah, exactly. I think that when he hits that finish, that should just be concrete. Just sign it off and that's it. Because it just looks amazing. It's one of the best finishes in NXT and best finishes in wrestling, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely is.
It's frustrating. I just don't know. I feel like I do like Johnny Gargano. I think he's a really good wrestler. Like, I think he's mint and he works a great style. I know you don't like him, Tom, for irrational reasons. But,
I don't know why. I don't know why.
I feel like that about a lot of people in life, though, so it's fine. I wouldn't worry too much. But
I don't like him.
Yeah, I do like him. I think he's a wicked wrestler. I worry that they're going to use that kind of he's not human thing too much, and like, cause I think what's his name, Maranello kept mentioning it, like kept saying like this guy's not human, and it's like, well, he is human because he's a human, and also
a little human.
He's a little small human.
It's like, I get it, but like, they don't do it with Daniel Bryan too much. Like, when he's down, he's down. It's like, sometimes you just got to play with the physics. Yeah. Play with the physics and just go, you know what? Maybe Johnny Gargano's frame means he's not got that great of endurance. So if you do plan him with something, he's got to be cleaned out. But on the other side of things, he's scrappy, and if he can get up, he will. And it's like that's his character. But there's too much.
Good. People were saying it's the best NXT match of all time, like one of the best WWE matches of all time. I don't think I agree with that. I honestly think Andrade Gargano was better than that.
Yeah.
I think that's still the best.
I'd agree with that.
I think that's still the best NXT match that I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a better NXT match than that. Bar maybe the Undisputed Era British Strong Style tag match at the Royal Albert Hall. I thought that. I mean, that's because I was there. It might have been a bit biased, but
you were kind of in the atmosphere though. Well,
yeah, it was unbelievable. But I did watch it back, and it holds up. It's a really good match.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Meltzer was saying like it's the best. And again, I can't stand anything more than Meltzer's ratings. But he was saying I think he thinks it's maybe the best WWE match of all time. I just don't think I agree with that. Nah. He said the exact same thing about the 2 out of 3 falls match they did like however many months ago that it were. He just keeps saying it over and over. And I'm just like, nah, I don't think it was that good. I think Andrade Gargano was really good. I think Gargano might get called up, you know.
Well, I think he initially wasn't he, with Ciampa, and then Ciampa
got injured, didn't he?
Go and have surgery.
Is he done? Is he back now?
He's on his way back. I think someone tweeted us about this, actually. We had a bit of a conversation with someone on Twitter, and I think he's back in the PC, so he's training again.
Okay.
And he's posted videos of himself training. But
was it a neck injury?
He had surgery, so he had the same thing that Angle and Austin did, where they fuse 2 of your vertebrae together.
Yeah.
But the way that they do it is they go through your throat.
Right.
Open your throat and do it sort of through there, because if you go in,
that's the grimmest thing I can imagine. That's horrible.
If they go in through the back of your neck, the recovery time is 4 times longer, pretty much. This can be 6 to 7 months, which I know is a long time, but for say you've just literally had spinal surgery, and the impact is minimum on you as well, when it comes to sort of normal day-to-day stuff while you're recovering. So pretty much a few weeks after the operation, he's up and about and he's walking.
Okay, fair enough.
He just can't like do anything physical really. So
maybe we'll see him back.
It's great to see him back. Like, it will be great to see him. I hope they get called up separately. I just think they don't need to be a team. They're both too good. They don't need to be a team at all.
I thought DIY while it was a thing, like when they were against the Revival and stuff, like them matches they had against the Revival.
That was amazing. That match
were just some of the greatest stuff ever.
I would rate that higher than the Cole Gargano match.
Maybe I think I would as well. Like that whole.
That's the best match in NXT history.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I'd still put Andrade Gargano higher, but like that, I think that was the first time I saw the spot where they like kind of grabbed each other's hands to stop each other from tapping.
Not to
which I was quite surprised. I can't believe I'd never seen that before. Maybe it's happened before, like maybe it's happened somewhere else, but I'd never seen that spot. I'd never seen like
I've seen it since. I've not seen it before.
I've never seen it before. I've never seen somebody else stop their tag partner from tapping out by like holding each other's hands.
I liked it though. It was good.
Yeah, it was a really good match. But I do like DIY. I just think Ciampa's better on his own as a heel. I'd maybe bring him
when
up
he
and,
had that unsanctioned match against him and he came out with no music on.
Yeah, he just walked out to the
and
ring.
The heat and the boos from the crowd was absolutely perfect.
Brutal. Yeah,
absolutely perfect. Before we go, we'll talk about this Sunday. So Breed Wrestling are back at Hex on Queens Road for their This House is a Circus event. They're also doing another a hybrid as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a double show. But This House is a Circus show is quite big actually.
Sorry, I can't see that.
You what, sorry?
I just keep saying berserkers fuck every time you say it.
Oh, right, okay. So TK Cooper's taking on Rampage for the Breed title.
That'll be a good match, that.
That should be quite a big match, actually.
I love Rampage.
Yeah, we've seen him a couple of times, haven't we? Not too long ago.
Seen him a few times. Seen him at, like... Did we see him at that Defiant show?
Yeah, he was at that Defiant show, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen the card. It does look really good. I'm quite looking forward to it.
So there's a few on there. Joe Nelson, who recently won the sort of New Breed title. I really like that idea of the younger guys have kind of got
like their own belt.
Yeah, I like
that.
Good
shout.
Kind of like literally this is the New Breed, and we're coming up kind of thing.
It's a great name for an undercard title.
It's really good, really good. Raven Creed against Shax as well for I think it's the final of the Women of Steel tournament.
Yeah.
Should be good, and then there's few other matches on there as well, but there's still a few tickets available. Just go to breedwrestling.co.uk. The last match, the last event that they had there, Ligero was there.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think he must have been obviously without his mask on because I don't think anyone knew he was there.
No.
And then I just saw him tweet like, I was at Breed last week, really good to see what they're doing. I'm like, oh man, it's literally cool. 2 minutes down the road, man. I wish I'd have gone to that. But there's still some tickets available. I think you can get a double ticket for like both sort of shows. I think it's like £20. It's nothing.
No, that is it.
It's really nothing.
It's really good.
But yeah, we try and head to it.
I'm gonna try and make that one. Yeah.
Is there else happening?
Well, the Super Showdown on Friday, but
just don't care.
I'm not really worried about that. It's loads of matches that are 10 years too late.
It's just blood money. As I said, it's not that. It's 40%. I hate WWE. I don't even want to talk about them. It's 60%. I don't feel comfortable supporting a blood money racketeering thing that like the Saudis are doing. So,
you support Sheffield United. So.
The only positive thing,
nothing wrong.
The only positive thing I can see about it is with this Super Showdown is it's on at a reasonable time.
Yeah, that's the one thing is that I'll be able to watch it without being up for 12,000 hours. Yeah, that's a good point.
I like a bit of Goldberg. I'm all right with a bit of Goldberg.
Yeah, I might watch the Goldberg match just to see how much of a shambles it is because I think that's gonna suck so bad. But
I don't see Goldberg getting Taker up for a jackhammer.
No, God no,
at all.
He's not gonna be able to hold him up, is he?
I don't know who's going to go over. I couldn't think who's going to go over in that match either.
I can't. Yeah. Oh, it's a good point. That Taker's got to win, surely. But
mate, it doesn't matter. It's outside of their realm of reality anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? That's a good point. What else do you show me some cool things earlier? Then like holographic like videos. And
so you showed it me earlier the other day actually, Tom. This sort of 3D
they're wicked
poster kind of thing. So there was one posted on Reddit today by the same guy. So I just messaged him and said like, mate, these are really good. Like, how'd you make them? Like, can we share one on our Twitter? And he was like, yeah, definitely send me your podcast. I'll listen to it. So he sent us one, or we got one and we tweeted it out. So he's, I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called.
Great. Good journalism.
All I know is He's going to make one for us. Nah, he's not really. I don't know. Maybe
You imagine?
Maybe he's a
He
nice
might.
fella.
If we
He's
ask
very
him.
nice, wouldn't it?
He might sort us out, you know. I'll go onto the Twitter now and I'll have a look at his name because I've only seen the video. I didn't see the guy that you didn't show me the guy.
Think Southpaw. That was his name. Sorry about that.
What's his name?
Think Southpaw on Twitter. He's
They're incredible.
Yeah, he also uses the same name on Reddit as well. So shout out to him because they're really good. Like what a good novel way of
From
sort
Hull?
of. Is he? Oh, mint! What a good novel way of like promoting something and
they're amazing.
Putting eyes on it as well because I've not really seen anything like that, especially sort of with like a wrestler.
They remind me of the old graphics cards that WWF used to use when they were like.
Yeah, but like then turn into the
good,
camera and
like
laughing.
they're really, really quality.
Yeah.
I like
they're amazing.
Yeah,
they're really good. So in the meantime, you can catch us at the Lights Pod on Twitter. Go give the other guys a follow as well. So Breed Wrestling, give those guys a follow. Make sure you catch one of their shows. You can get us on Staring at the Lights on Instagram, and anything you want to email, show@staringatthelights.com, and keep checking rgm.press as well for anything that we write. So, but that's about it. We'll see you next time.
I'll be back next week from the bathroom of the last known little chef in the UK.
Is that where you are now? You in a legitimately in a little chef?
I'm in the car. I'm still riding.
I do love a little chef. Do they still exist? Or are they gone now?
I think I saw.
Heston bastard Blumenthal. He ruined them all. They got rid of them little potatoes on the Olympic breakfast.
Oh yeah, he did something. He tried to jazz it all up, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember that. Because there was we had a caravan in Bridlington, and there was one on the road to Bridlington. We used to stop every single time for a breakfast on his way there.
Brilliant. Do you remember that comedian Bill Bailey?
Yeah.
He once said that the reason that motorways exist is because they're to connect up little chefs.
Yeah, it's true. I fucking love a little chef. Mate, maybe we should do a podcast from a little chef.
From a little chef.
Let's find a little chef. My mum worked at a little chef when she was pregnant with me. Just a bit
that explains so much.
And on that bombshell.
No,
Right, we'll see you next week.
Bye bye.